Alright, looks like we got a Gungan Phalanx Q&A, and I was actually looking forward to this because I figure there's going to be a lot of backlash to that stupid Galactic challenge Omicron, and so I'm hoping that is what is heavily addressed in this. Yeah, I've never been more excited for a Q&A. Like, I was just playing the game and I thought, ooh, I wonder if there's a Q&A about this regarding the stupid Omicron. And yeah, sure enough, there was. So that's pretty cool, and let's get into it. So very first question, why did you make a GC Omicron? What is the design goal? We wanted to try something new. This is a more niche Omicron and targeted to players that might want some extra oomph with GCs. With 5 Gungans, we wanted to try and give each one an Omicron that affects a different game mode. And in the lifetime of Omicrons, we'd only explored 4 modes up until now. Will this make Galactic challenges harder now that you've attached an Omicron to it? I would say absolutely, but let's see. GCs inherently vary in difficulty. The intent of this Omicron is to make a Gungan squad a viable alternative to completing feats that are difficult for your roster to accomplish otherwise. What? I don't even understand what that response is. The intent of this Omicron is to make a Gungan squad a viable alternative to completing feats that are difficult for your roster to accomplish otherwise. So what are you talking about? Like the ones that say something stupid like, get 30 stuns, and it's like, how the F do I do that with, I don't know, a team that has no stuns? Is that what they mean by this? Or, I'm assuming so. Because, I mean, you can't really get like a max crate by using the wrong team. Will there be Gungan feats in Galactic challenges? Well, that's a really dumb question, obviously. Yes, like other factions and teams, Gungans will also receive their own GC moments. That one, obviously. The real good question here was number 1. Will there be another Gungan or will this be the last? No, there's Jar Jar now. These were all the prereq characters for Jar Jar. You know, kind of like how what's his name? Cal Kestis. He had those 4 prerequisites. Well, this is Jar Jar's prerequisites. But anyways, this is the last of the marquee Gungan characters. The remaining character to complete this squad is Jar Jar Binks, who can be obtained through his legendary Journey Guide event. Now it looks like it's on to real questions. Whenever Phalanx is not damaged by an enemy, what does that even mean? Does this trigger every turn? Every enemy turn? Every time an ally is damaged? When an enemy completes their turn and does not damage Phalanx. So yeah, I guess that would almost mean every turn then. I mean, you didn't really answer the question. I would assume that means every turn then, technically, because once the turn is over, and if he didn't get any damage, then whatever this was referencing will be triggered. Is the protection disruption looking Leia mechanics? Or is that a different thing? Protection disruption is the debuff inflicted by Boba Fett, Sina Django, for example. Leia's ambush disables protection, but that is not what is covered by this immunity. Okay, that didn't really help because I don't know what Boba's Sina Django's thing is off the top of my head, so thanks, that helps. Why shield instead of protection up? What's the difference? Protection up uses max health as a statistic to pull from to create the temporary shield. Show of hands, who didn't know? So, for example, protection up 25% creates a temporary shield based on 25% of the character's max health. Shield up uses max protection as the statistic. What? So shield up 25% creates a temporary shield based on 25% of the character's max protection. Well, I guess that makes sense then, because they're all about protection in this. You know, oh, the character loses 75% health and gains that as protection. So, yeah, I guess you'd want shield. It makes way more sense. Anyways, with Gungans having such a small health pool, we wanted to create a buff that aligned more with their statistical profile. Shield up is treated like a buff similar to protection up, so it can be dispelled and prevented. That makes no sense, though. Protection up goes based on your health? It's really weird. Is this a made-up Gungan? I feel like most of them are. Like, none of them are famous except for Boss Nass and Jar Jar. When they said that they were coming up with all these characters, I was like, okay. I guess you're making up 3 of them. The Grand Gungan army is primarily made up of militia gung, a generic term covering all sorts of specialized Gungan soldiers. For the purposes of creating a 5-person, they're not really people, squad, we broke the militia gung into 2 different specialized units, the Booma-tossing bombardier and the shield-bearing Phalanx. So, in other words, yes, it is made up. It's supposed to be a generic character, just like Bombardier was basically a generic character. How did you decide on the ability names? We pretty much had the idea on what the abilities should do and look like, so in the end it was only a matter of how a Gungan would call those actions out. When is Phalanx is not... Wait, hold on. When is Phalanx is not damaged by an enemy? Checked. Every time an enemy attacks, including assists and counters? What about mass assists? Is it checked for each individual character assisting? It is checked at the end of an enemy's turn. If they take their turn and do not damage Phalanx, then Phalanx will assist on the next other Gungan ally's turn, along with the other benefits. Can we get a teaser for how Jar Jar will add to this squad? Chaos. Okay. Don't really know what that's supposed to mean. It sounds terrible, though. But at the same time, I guess it's very fitting. Anyways, yeah. CG Q&A regarding Gungan Phalanx, and people are heavily asking about this dumb Omicron nonsense, so... I mean, it's expected. Nobody wanted it. They all hated it, and of course it's a very #1 question. I was surprised there actually was real questions in here. I thought they'd be all just like Galactic Challenge Omicron hate. But anyways, yeah, I guess that's all we got for this one. FUCG and your stupid Galactic Challenge Omicron. We want to try something new. Yeah, try something new in a dumb area that nobody at all is interested in. So, thanks. But anyways, until next time, I said see ya.